Hello everyone, welcome to Sentence Diagramming 101. This video is about Chapter 5 Verbals, and we are in Part C, which is infinitives. So infinitives are the form of the verb that has a to in front of it. So to sing, to dance, to speak, whatever. So infinitives can do all the things. So verbals are what happens when verbs aren't being the main verb of the sentence. So infinitives, they can be nouns, so they could do anything a noun can do, but they can also be adjectives and adverbs. So it's wild. It's about to get crazy. So let's start with infinitives as a noun. So if you have an infinitive, and it's acting as the subject of the sentence, as a noun, can be a subject, it might look like this: to perform the best trick. So that whole thing, right, is the subject. That is the goal of each magician. So we have a subject is as a linking verb, and then goal being your subject complement. So this is a slivisk, the sentence, but to perform is the infinitive, and then to perform what? The best trick. So trick is the object of the infinitive, making this whole thing an infinitive phrase. To discover the secret behind the trick is the wish of every audience member. So to discover is your infinitive. Secret is the object of the infinitive, making to discover the secret an infinitive phrase acting as the subject. Same thing goes for to gain prestige, right? To gain infinitive, prestige, object of the infinitive, to gain prestige, infinitive phrase acting as the subject. But because it's a noun, it can also be a subject complement, like in The Prestige, which is a movie about magicians. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's pretty good. The trick is to transport a man across the stage. So what is the trick? The trick is to transport a man. So that's the subject complement there. The mystery is to unearth the truth. So again, what is the mystery? To unearth the truth. So subject complement. And then to unearth is my infinitive. Truth is the object of the infinitive. To unearth the truth is an infinitive phrase. They can also be direct objects. I love to watch movies with a twist. So to watch movies is my infinitive phrase acting as the direct object. Algiers vows to avenge his wife's death. That's not a spoiler, it happens at the beginning. To avenge death would be the infinitive phrase. It's the thing Algiers vows, so it's the direct object. They can also be object complements. An accident caused Borden to lose 2 fingers. So what about Borden? He loses 2 fingers. Sorry to spoil that part for you. Moving on, they can also be the object of a preposition, right? Except to seek revenge. So except being your preposition, prepositional phrase. About to unfold. About is your preposition. To unfold is the object of the prepositional phrase. So you have an infinitive as the object of a preposition. They can also be appositives while we're here. Algiers' goal. What's his goal? To discover Borden's secret. That becomes an obsession. So this is renaming goal. So to discover secret, infinitive phrase acting as an appositive phrase inside the sentence. And then also her purpose is to discover the truth. So far we have infinitives acting as nouns, right? They can be subjects, objects, complements, appositives. But they can also be adjectives. They can tell you more things about something else. So you're like Tesla's machine. Oh, by the way, Tesla's in The Prestige for a brief moment. Tesla's machine, which machine? The one to transport a man. So to transport a man is describing the machine, making it an adjective. Borden's trick, which trick? The one to catch a bullet, making it an adjective, right? So that's how you'll have infinitive phrases as adjectives. But they're not done yet because sometimes they also want to be adverbs. So they will answer adverb questions. They'll tell you where, why, how, when, or in what manner. So in this case, she's driven to kill herself. Why? Or how. You could argue that's either a why or a how question. But to kill herself is an adverb phrase here. He is afraid to perform his trick. Now this is interesting because afraid is an adjective. When you describe an adjective, you become an adverb. So that's why this is an example of an adverb infinitive phrase. Then how do you diagram these things? Well, we get to draw, so that's fun. We're going to draw it's almost like an indirect object box, but instead of underneath, you're going to draw it on top. So you're going to put a little slanty line with your to, then the verb, then the direct object line dividing it from the object, if it has one. And that whole construction goes on a stand, and that stand goes wherever it needs to go. So is it the subject? It goes here. Is it describing? Is it working as an adjective, describing the direct object? then it goes here. Like, infinitives can go everywhere. So as you can see, these are the sentences that we talked about before. So to perform the best trick is your infinitive phrase. Or to discover the secret behind the trick is the subject. To gain prestige is the subject. And then, oh, but what if it's a subject complement? It goes over here. To transport a man. To unearth the truth, subject complement. What if it's the direct object? Oops, so it goes over here, but with a direct object line instead of a subject complement line. So you're like, to watch movies. To avenge the death. Which death? It's not his death, right? It's his wife's death. So that's why that's like that. To lose 2 fingers, and then to spy on board, and those are object complements there. So you can see they go in the object complement spot. And you'll notice our sentences are getting more complicated. We have appositives in here. We have, adjectives with adverbs hanging off of them. So we're halfway through the book at this point. Sentences are going to get more involved. Moving on, we've got the object of a prepositional phrase. You have to leave so much room because you're going up from a line at the bottom. So again, spatial awareness and planning. Use a pencil or something erasable will make your life easier. About to unfold, again, object of the preposition. And if it's in a positive, you just draw the little stand inside the appositive parentheses, and then it goes above it. So that's fun. Or what else? Yeah, you may have the object of a prepositional phrase as in a positive. Like, this purpose here is the object of a prepositional phrase, but to discover the truth isn't a positive renaming purpose. So, I mean, things just start stacking on top of others. Think of this as doing math. You're just doing multiple functions within the same equation. So, which machine? The one to transport a man. Which trick? The one to catch a bullet. She is driven, how or why, to kill herself. He is afraid, how, to perform, or why. Why is he afraid, or what is he afraid of? To perform that trick. And then, we got a gerund in here too. So don't forget gerunds, participles, those are all verbals as well. So infinitives are generally easy to find because they have a to in front of them, right? To plus verb, but figuring out what they're doing in the sentence takes a little bit of time. You have to kind of work your way through those questions. Is it a noun? Is it an adjective? Is it an adverb? What is its function today? Now, a brief note, is it an infinitive or is it a prepositional phrase? Because yes, prepositional phrases can start with to. So you just have to think about what it is saying. Like, to sing, that's a thing. You're not going to a place called sing. You're doing a thing called singing. Like, let's go to bed. Well, bed is a place, right? To bed isn't a verb. Well, I guess it could be if you're reading a romance novel. Never mind. But to drive, right, that's an activity. To victory, that's not like a thing you do. You go to, victory is great, right? So, let's see. So, if you are going to a place, probably a preposition. If you are performing an action, probably an infinitive. And watch the Prestige. It's a good time. And then you can practice infinitives. Again, take your time, do the exercise, review the answer key to see how you did, and watch the video going over exercise 5. And that has been infinitives. Now I do want to sneak forward here a little bit, sneak preview, to page 199, because this is the verbal review. So these are gerunds and where you will find them. These are participles and where you will find them. These are infinitives and where you will find them. So it's a nice little review of all of the verbals, what they are and how you can use them. And that is chapter 5.